If you were to ask like a question to the group, because you've got a bunch of experienced cold callers here, if you were to maybe just ask them one question, what would that be, you think?
Probably just the biggest piece of advice, the most like simple but effective piece of advice.
All right, I'm happy to do that. Let me start off with somebody that loves cold calling. Kirsten, you do like cold calling. You booked a lot. What advice would you give to Darcy starting out cold calling in this world?
Fair play to you from being a car salesperson, because I couldn't do that. And that's me being brutally honest. Just let your personality shine through. Like, I think a lot of people, especially myself when I started cold calling, is you'd get really worked up and think I need to get everything out in the space of like 20 seconds. And it's like, ends up being like word vomit. It's just a conversation. It is literally just like speaking to a mate. It's nothing, don't overcomplicate it. Very basic. And if somebody hangs up on you, who cares? Who cares? It really isn't a big deal. I used to get, beat myself up and I should have said this different, I should have done that different. You're not in control of them. If they hang up on you, they hang up, move on. It's honestly, it's not that deep. And it's one of those ones, it's more a reflection on them. They're probably having a bad day. They're probably busy. You'll phone them again in like 4 weeks' time. You'll have a good conversation. That's it.
Top tips, Kirsten. Thank you very much. Connor nodding agreeingly. Do you have it? Because you're going to have some SDRs asking you, sir, more manager, well, what do we do? What advice would you give to Darcy?
Similar to what Kirsten said, not taking yourself too seriously and not putting on this fake phone voice. Like, it's so easy. When I started a self-fuel car as my first ever cold calling job to sell to transport managers, they didn't want to hear some well-spoken or like polished. It was more just tell them what it is, be honest, be very just genuine. So just be honest with yourself. And also, like Chris says, well, if you want to listen back to your calls, it's so good to actually listen back to them. Like, I used to hate hearing the sound of my voice, but play back your calls that you've had, have someone else listen to them. And it might be a bit weird at first because like you might cringe, like, oh no, I shouldn't have said that, or that was a really bad call. But they may pick something out and it might be one little tweak and it can really change and help you get back. So that.
Love that. Thank you very much, Mr. Grimes. Yeah, we don't want a polished personal phone voice. We need to be speaking how we normally speak, right? I love that. Kirsten, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, no, it's just something else I thought of. People are going to get a lot of calls and everybody's going to talk about how good their product is and we're the best, we're this. Never lead with yourself, always lead with a relevant pain point and put yourself in their world. Because, you can sit and say you're the best at this, that and the next thing. They don't have a clue about you, so they'll be like, I know what you're talking about. But if you, like, for instance, I deal with integrations, so I'm not going to go in and be like, Patchworks does this, this, this. I don't really care. But if I go in and kind of say, look, I'm speaking to similar leaders that are actually struggling with disconnected systems and manual workload that really pinned them back in Black Friday. Is that something you faced? Oh, actually, yeah, it is. You'll get a conversation better out of that rather than just kind of word vomit and how good you are.
There's a whole bunch of different tips that we can give for cold calls, but I think, Darcy, how do these land with you?
Yeah, definitely. Noah always says to me that you should be like, what do you mean by that? How do you mean by that? Even if you know what it is. He's got some saying, he stood next to me now. He's got some saying, he was asking about it before, saying that salespeople are the most stupid people or act like the most stupid people. The fact that you're always asking, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Even if you do know, you just seem more interested in what they've got to say instead of what you're trying to sell them.